What's going on, guys? TZ Champ here. Welcome back to another video, and this is my second time recording this video. I'm going to be doing a review on Destiny 2: The Edge of Fate. This is the latest expansion in the Destiny universe, and as a Destiny veteran, starting in the very first Destiny game as a teenager all the way up until now, I have played Destiny pretty much like a lot. I mean, I don't know how any other way to say it. I've only recently stopped playing it just because I wasn't a fan of kind of like their latest releases and their seasonal content that they were doing. It didn't feel like it was hitting right. I mean, I played all the way up until the final shape, obviously, and played that campaign and beat it because it felt like a good close on Destiny's franchise, kind of, almost. I didn't want the franchise to end, but it felt like a really good ending to the Light and Darkness story that they were telling. And so I was very interested to see what was going to come next. And honestly, I still don't know how I feel about it, because this new expansion, I think, is better than Lightfall, but I don't think it's as good as like Witch Queen, to kind of put it in perspective of like where I would rank it. There are some changes that are very good about it. There are some changes that are pretty bad about it. And in the first recording of this, I spent 30 minutes going on like a whole in-depth guide on like all the changes and things that they've done and different things like that. And honestly, for a game review, I shouldn't be taking that long to explain everything. I don't need to do a deep dive. This isn't a state of play. This is a game review. So to keep it as minimalistic as possible, we're just going to kind of run through the pros and cons of the game, in my opinion, and why I'm rating it the way that I'm rating it. And hopefully we'll be done in less than 10 minutes. So let's see. I got 8 to go. So in Destiny 2: Edge of Fate, the new campaign, I think, is overall, it's kind of interesting. I don't know how to say it any other way. I mean, it's interesting, but I do feel like there's a lot of plot convenience in it as well, which is very weird. Also, the layout of some of the missions are really stupid, in my opinion. Like, you'll understand if you play it. You'll end up going to like a whole area, clearing out that entire area to look for something, and then you'll find it, and then you'll go back to like the very beginning of that area and do a mission that will have you go through that same area again that has now been taken over by enemies just to kill a boss. It just makes no sense. It's like, we were already here. Why are we having to do a new mission to go back to the place that I already was? Why couldn't we have done this while I was already there? Oh, you're just padding for playtime for your campaign. Never mind. I get it now. I mean, honestly, it's just dumb. They added a new mechanic to the world, which in my opinion it's not a terrible mechanic. It's not really a mechanic that kind of blows my mind and blows everything out of the water. But I've seen so many reviews of people complaining about it, and honestly, I can understand why. They overuse this new mechanic so much. Every 35 seconds, I feel like you're having to use the new mechanics to do something, to solve something in boss fights. Half the time when I was taking a break and needed to go to the bathroom, I thought I was going to have to use the mechanic to leave my desk to go to the bathroom. Like, I honestly, I know more about that mechanic and how to maneuver it and stuff than I think I know about my own personal self. Like, I've had to use it that much. It's insane. Way overused. And it's just not an overall interesting mechanic. I mean, it's really not. And plot wise, it just doesn't make sense anyway. But I'm not even going to get into that. Like, I felt like the new mechanic was like almost like a setup to kind of set up like a new subclass almost with the way they were introducing it, just to find out that we're not getting a new subclass in this expansion. And it also just didn't make sense. Like, the new mechanic revolves around dark matter, by the way, in case you haven't played yet, or seen any of the details about it. It revolves around dark matter, so I was assuming we were going to get like a dark matter subclass or something, or some kind of power related to dark matter. You don't. You turn into a little ball of electricity and just do arc damage, first of all, or kinetic damage. I don't really know how it's specified. Or you can use the matter morph, which is like a shape-shifting ability to alter the terrain of certain areas. But if you throw it at an enemy, it's strand. So it's like, it's supposed to be dark matter, its own little thing, but it's really just reusing stuff that we already have. I don't know. I just felt like it was a little bit of a miss, kind of. Like, they even added like the new exotic that you get. It's called like the Graviton. So I thought it was going to be like a gravity gun. And all it is it's a mix between stasis and arc. It's not even like its own thing, even though the enemies have like gravity something. I don't know exactly what it's called. It's like a new mechanic where enemies can be tagged with like a special modifier or something that gives them different things, and like some of them would be like gravity. It'll say like their tag is like gravity, and they'll use like gravity based grenades or something that'll just like pull you down and like and things like that. It's just, I don't know, it's seems like a missed opportunity, like I said. Other than that, the campaign also just didn't feel complete to me personally, because comparing, the way I would compare it is we got everything that was included in Witch Queen for $40, and then we also got this one for $40. And in Witch Queen, it was significantly longer, I think, and more, there was more in it than I felt like this one had. And I'm not against shorter campaigns if they're good, and I'm not against like less content in the campaign itself if the campaign is good. But this one was just over bloated with the new mechanic, that there was nothing really happening, and half the stuff that was being talked about didn't make sense like 80% of the time. Like, it was just confusing, and I'm still waiting until to look up a lore buff's video on what lore I've missed from when I haven't played, and also what lore we gathered from this, because honestly, I only understood a little bit of the actual lore things of it. And then some of the other stuff, like background that we got on a couple of characters, just seemed like more plot convenience than anything. I don't know, just didn't make sense. But overall, I would give the story, and well, I'll give the game a whole rating. But they also changed the power system. As you can see, I'm currently power level 176. So the cap, or soft cap, or hard cap, whatever you want to call it, on power is now 200, and then you can upgrade your power further with seasonal power, which is that seasonal bonus power that you're seeing right there, by using these unstable cores that you get, and they expire at the end of the season, as you can see there. But you use those to upgrade your weapons above power 200. They also have tiers for the weapons now too. So like, this is a tier 2, as you can see here from the two little like diamonds on the thing. And that just means 2 of the perks have been enhanced. If you get a tier 3, 3 of the perks will be enhanced. Tier 4, 4 of the perks will be enhanced. Like tier 5, you'll have like all the perks enhanced with like an extra trait perk, I think, as well, that you can choose from. I don't know exactly every detail on that, but that's just kind of how that works. They don't make it now to where like everything's weekly, which is nice. There's some things that still have resets, I think, but for the most part, you can kind of just grind all the way up to 200 within the first day if you really wanted to, and you can just start doing all of the other side stuff just to continuously grind, which is pretty nice. So that's kind of cool. The power level also transfers between characters now. Now, like, that doesn't mean that when I hop on my other Like, this is my Warlock. That doesn't mean if I hop on a Titan, it's going to be power level 176. It's still going to be power level 10, but all of the drops that it gets will be 176. Basically, the game now detects whatever your highest level character is, and all of your drops for your other characters are going to be at that same level. So that just makes it easier for you to progress other characters, which is pretty nice. Other than that, the new portal system is it's interesting. I don't know if I'm a fan of it yet. I mean, it's okay. I don't really hate it. I just don't really, I'm not used to it. I'm used to the standard like world map thing for traveling. And a lot of people seem to like this a lot better. Apparently on day one, this was like undersaturated. They had gotten rid of like all the color on it, and they quickly pushed out a change to bring the color back into it because they didn't realize that everybody liked it better. So apparently they're wanting to try to keep both and keep upgrading and improving both sides of the whole thing. My assumption is we're eventually just going to get like some kind of overhaul on the whole thing to make them both like one and the same somehow. I mean, it would just make sense to have like the portal as just like a visitable area or something. I don't know. But anyway, overall, with my experience so far in the game, and I have put in a whopping, and I can't see how much time I've put in this week, but I've played for about 3 days now, and I've played and beaten the campaign, which I never really got to fully explain that. I feel like the campaign doesn't really have an ending. It's not really satisfactory to me, which is why I said that I felt like you got more out of Witch Queen. But overall, I would give the rating of this expansion a 7 out of 10. I think it's okay. I think it's semi-good. I think it's overall a good change for Destiny. However, there are a lot of major problems in the game that need to be addressed. We will not go into the details because we're already over 12 minutes. I just know that there's a lot of problems in the game that need to be fixed and need to be addressed. But overall, I think the changes that have been made have been somewhat okay. I have enjoyed the time that I've played so far. I'm hoping that I will still enjoy it when I finish all of the side quests and things that I have to do, because I don't want to just get to a point where I'm just like bored with the game again. Because that was the problem I had with all the seasonal content before, is it just got boring to repeat the same exact thing over and over again. So I'm hoping that won't be too much of a problem with this. But yeah, overall, 7 out of 10. The game has problems, but I think the overall changes that have been made have been beneficial for the most part, other than the changes to the raids contest mode that happened, because day ones have basically become impossible. I've watched teams of people that are rocking like almost 250 or over 250 power, which is well over what I have, obviously. And they go into the raid with like multiple loadouts that they have saved that are optimized to the most part of what they're trying to do. And they're sitting there swapping loadouts, like quick swapping loadouts mid-fight, and they're just not even able to hit DPS numbers on the bosses, and they're just wiping. I don't want to see the state of this game getting to that point where you have to be like the highest of highest levels of players, like Faker or something from League over here doing all kinds of like push combos and things like that. Like, it just doesn't make sense, right? It's just dumb. Like, I don't see that being like a fun way of playing the game. You get what I'm saying? So hopefully it gets changed, but 7 out of 10. If you think $40 is a good price for a 7 out of 10 DLC, then you might enjoy it. Otherwise, I would suggest holding off, maybe watching some streamers play it or something like that, and see if you would like it. Um, to me, I think I liked it. The reason I liked it so much is because of the power reset. Because you still got to keep all of your gear, so it's not like they wiped you. Like all of your gear is still here. It's just all power level 10. So it's like a very soft reset. The power's reset basically, so you feel like you're grinding all the way from scratch again, kind of, for the power grind. But it feels less strenuous. You no longer have to do the whole like, okay, first I need to do this thing, then I got to do this thing, and then this thing and this thing, because that way I can make sure I get the most optimal drops possible for my level. And then once that's over, then I go play a different game for the rest of the week, because now I got to wait until the next weekly reset before I can do any of this again. I feel like this new method that they got going on is way better. So I'm excited for that. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. We did it in about 16 minutes, so I kind of rambled a little bit towards the end there. So yeah. But if you'd like to see me make more Destiny content, be sure to let me know. I would gladly do that. I mean, I like Destiny. I like playing it. Just don't ask me too much about optimization stuff, because I suck at that kind of thing. And but we'll see what happens. Anyway, I'll see you all in the next one. Laters.